This time 9 years have gone by, friends. It's summer 1913. Gradual changes in Grover's Corners. Horses are getting rarer, and farmers are coming into town on Fords. There ain't been any burglars in town yet, but everybody's heard about them. Everybody now locks their doors at night. You'd be surprised, though, that on the whole, things don't change much around here. Now, this here is certainly an important part of Grover's Corners. It's on a hilltop, a windy hilltop. Lots of stars, often lots of sun, lots of sky also. And you come up here on a fine afternoon, and way up on a range of hills there, awful blue they are, you can see up by Lake Sunapee and Lake Winnipesaukee. And then further up, if you've got a glass, you can see the White Mountains and Mount Washington, and all the towns that lie around in Jaffrey and East Jaffrey and Peterborough and Dublin. And there, our favorite mountain, Mount Monadnock, is in the middle, and some of the towns that lie in it, where North Conway and Conway is. And there, right down there, is Grover's Corners. And it's a beautiful spot up here, mountain laurel and lilacs. You know, I often wonder why people would want to spend their time in Woodlawn or Brooklyn when they might pass the same time up here. Well, here's the old part, 1870, 1880. Summer people walk around up here laughing at all the funny words on all the tombstones. I guess that don't do any harm. And then the genealogists come up from Boston. They get paid by these rich city folks. They all want to make sure they're daughters of the American Revolution or daughters of the Mayflower. I don't guess that does any harm either. Wherever you come near the human race, there's always layers and layers of nonsense. Now here's the new part of the cemetery. Here's your friend Mrs. Gibbs, and let me see here. Simon Stimson, organist at the Congregational Church. Mrs. Soames, who enjoyed the wedding so, you remember, along with a lot of others. There's Editor Webb's boy, Wallace, whose appendix burst on a camping trip to North Conway. Now, over here in the old part are some Civil War veterans, iron flags on their graves. And they had this notion that the Union ought to be kept together, although they'd never seen more than 50 miles of it themselves. All they knew was the name, friends, the United States of America. The United States of America. Well, there are some things that we all know, but that we don't take out and look at very often. You see, we all know that something is eternal, and that something ain't houses, and it ain't even the stars. But we all know way deep down in our bones that something is eternal, and that something is the human soul. You know, the greatest people that ever lived have been telling us that for 5,000 years, and you'd be surprised how everybody's always losing hold of it. Well, there are some living people. There's Joe Stoddard, our undertaker, supervising a new-made grave. And here comes a Grover's Corners boy who left town to go out west.
Good afternoon, Joe Stoddard.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me see now. Do I know you?
I'm Sam Craig.
Gracious sakes alive, of all people. I should have known you'd be back for the funeral. You've been away a long time, Sam.
Yes, I've been away over 12 years. I'm in business out in Buffalo now, Joe. But I was in the East when I got news of my cousin's death, so I thought I combine things a little and come to the old home. You look well.
Yes, can't complain. Very sad our journey today, Samuel.
Yes.
Yes. I always say I hate to supervise when a young person is taken. They'll be here in a few minutes now. I had to come here early today. My son's supervising at the home.
Old Farmer McCarty. I used to do chores for him after school. He had the lumbago.
Yes, we brought Farmer McCarty here a number of years ago now.
Why, this is my Aunt Julia. I've forgotten that she... Of course.
Yes, Doc Gibbs lost his wife 2-3 years ago about this time. And today's another pretty bad blow for him, too.
That's my sister Carrie's boy, Sam Craig.
Do they choose their own verses much, Joe?
No, usually the bereaved pick a verse.
Doesn't sound like Aunt Julia. There aren't many of those Hersey sisters left now. Let me see. Where are... I wanted to look at my father's and mother's.
Over there with the Craigs, Avenue F.
He was an organist at church, wasn't he?
He'd seen a peck of trouble.
Joe, what did she die of?
Who?
My cousin.
Oh, didn't you know? Had some trouble bringing a baby into the world. 'Twas her second, though. Left a little boy about 4 years old.
The grave's gonna be over there?
Yes, there ain't much more room here among the Gibbs section. Gibbs, so they're opening up a new Gibbs section over by Avenue B. If you'll excuse me now, I see they're coming.
Who is it, Julia? My daughter-in-law, Emily Webb. Well, I declare, the road up here must have been awful muddy. What did she die from, Julia? In childbirth. Childbirth? I'd forgotten all about that. My, wasn't life awful and wonderful? I remember Emily's wedding, perfectly beautiful wedding, and I remember her reading the class poem at graduation exercises. Emily was one of the brightest girls ever graduated from high school. I've heard Principal Wilkins say so time after time. I called on them at their new farm just before I died. Perfectly beautiful farm. It's on the same road we lived on.
Yep, right smart, farm.
I always liked that hymn. I was hoping they'd sing him. Hello. Hello, Emily.
Hello, Miss Gibbs.
Hello, Mother Gibbs. Emily. Hello. It's raining.
They'll be gone soon, dear. Just rest yourself.
It seems thousands and thousands of years since Papa remembered that was my favorite hymn. Oh, I wish I'd been here a long time. I don't like being new here. Mother Gibbs, George and I have made that farm into just the best place you ever saw. We thought of you all the time. We wanted to show you the new barn and the great long cement drinking fountain for the stock. We bought that out of the money you left us.
I did?
Don't you remember, Mother Gibbs, the legacy you left us? Why, it was over $350.
Yes. Yes, Emily.
Well, there's a patent device on the drinking fountain so that it never overflows, Mother Gibbs, and it never sinks below a certain line they have there. It's fine. It won't be the same to George without me, but it's a lovely farm. Live people don't understand, do they?
No, dear. Not very much.
They're sort of shut up in little boxes, aren't they? I feel as though I knew them last 1,000 years ago. My boy is spending the day at Mrs. Carter's. Oh, Mr. Carter, my boy is spending the day at your house.
Is he?
Yes, he loves it there. Mother Gibbs, we have a Ford too. Never gives any trouble. I don't drive though. Oh, Mother Gibbs, when does this feeling go away of being one of them? How long does it?
Shh, dear. Just wait and be patient.
I know. Look, they finished. They're going.
Shh, shh, shh.
Look, Father Gibbs is bringing some of my flowers to you. He looks just like George, doesn't he? I never realized before how troubled and how in the dark life persons are. Look at him. I loved him so. From morning till night, that's all they are. Troubled.
Little cooler than it was.
Those northeast winds always do the same thing, don't they?
But Mother Gibbs, one can go back. One can go back again into living. I feel it. I know it. Why, just then, for a minute, I was thinking about the farm. And for a minute, I was there. And my baby was on my lap as plain as day.
Yes, of course you can.
I can go and live all those days over again. Why not?
Yes, and some have tried, but they all come back here.
Don't do it, Emily.
Emily, don't. It's not what you think it'd be.
But I won't live over a sad day. I'll choose a happy one. I'll choose the day I first knew I loved George. Why should that be painful?
Well, you not only live it, but you watch yourself living it.
Yes?
And as you live it, you see the thing that they, down there, never know. You see the future and what's going to happen afterwards.
But is that painful? Why?
That's not the only reason, Emily. When you've been here longer, you'll see that our time here is to forget that life and to think of what's ahead and to be ready for what's ahead. When you've been here longer, you'll understand.
Well, Mother Gibbs, how can I ever forget that life? It's all I know. It's all I had.
Oh, Emily, it isn't wise. Really, it isn't.
But it's something I must know for myself. I'll choose a happy day anyway.
No. Choose an unimportant day, the least important day of your life. It will be important enough.
And it can't be since I was married, or since the baby was born. Well, I can choose a birthday at least, can't I? I choose my 12th birthday.
All right? February 11th, 1899. That's a Tuesday. Do you want any special time of day?
Oh, I want the whole day.
Okay. We'll begin at dawn. You remember it had been snowing for several days, and they had just begun clearing the roads. The sun's coming up.
Why, look! There's Main Street. And there's Mr. Morgan's drugstore before he changed it. And there's the livery stable.
Yep. This is 14 years ago. It's 1899.
Oh, that's the town I knew as a little girl. And look! There's the old white fence that used to be around our house. Oh, I'd forgotten that. I love it so. Are they inside?
Yes. Your mother will be coming downstairs to make breakfast any moment now.
Oh, will she?
And you remember, your father had been away for several days, came back on the early morning train?
No?
Yes. He'd been away, making a speech at his old college in western New York, at Clinton.
Why, look! There's Howie Newsom. And there's our policeman. But he's dead. He died.
Whoa, Bessie. Bessie! Morning, Bill.
Morning, Howie. You're up early? Been rescuing party. Near frozen death down by that Polish town there. Guy laid out in the snowdrifts and thought you was asleep when I shook him.
And there's Joe Crowell.
Morning, Mr. Warren. Morning, Howie. Children, time to get up.
Oh, Mama. Oh, how young Mama looks. I didn't know Mama was ever that young.
You can come and dress by the fire if you'd like, but hurry. Oh, good morning, Mr. Newsom. Ooh, it's cold.
Step below my barn, Mrs. Webb.
Think of it. Keep yourself wrapped up.
Mama! I can't find my blue hair ribbon anywhere.
Just open your eyes, dear. That's all. I laid it out for you. Special on the dresser there. If it were a snake, it would bite you.
Yes. Yes.
Good evening, Bill.
Evening, Mr. Webb. You're up early.
Yes, just been back to my old college back at New York State. Been any trouble here?
Well, I was called up this morning to rescue a Polish fella. Near froze to death.
Well, we must get in the paper.
Twain't much.
Papa?
Good morning, Mother.
Oh, good morning, Charles. How did it go?
Oh, fine, I guess. I told him a few things. Everything all right here?
Yes, can't think of anything that's happened special. I'm right cold. Howie Newsom says it's time to blow over to his barn.
Yes, well, it's cold in that Bracton College. Students' ears are falling off. It ain't Christian. Paper have any mistakes in it?
None that I noticed. Coffee's ready when you want it. Charles, it's Emily's birthday. Did you remember to get her something?
Oh, yes. Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
Don't interrupt her now. She's slow enough as it is. You can see her at breakfast.
I can't bear it. They're so young and beautiful. Why did they ever have to get old? Mama, I'm here. I love you all, everything. I can't look at everything hard enough. Mama, you shouldn't have. I can't. I can't.
That in the blue paper is from your Aunt Carrie, and I reckon you can guess who brought the postcard album. George Gibbs. Must have come over in the cold pretty early. Right nice of him.
Oh, George. I'd forgotten that.
Chew that bacon good and slow. It'll help keep you warm on a cold day.
Oh, Mama, just look at me 1 minute as though you really saw me. Mama, 14 years have gone by. I'm dead. You're a grandmother, Mama. I married George Gibbs, Mama. Wally's dead too, Mama. His appendix burst on a camping trip to North Conway. We just felt terrible about it, don't you remember? And now just for a minute we're together. Now for a minute we're happy. Let's look at one another.
That in the yellow paper is something I found in the attic among your grandmother's things. You're old enough now to wear, and I thought you'd like it.
Oh, and this is from you. Oh, it's lovely. It's beautiful, Mama. It's just what I wanted.
I'd hoped you'd like it. Hunted all over for it. Your Aunt Nora couldn't find one in Concord, so I had to send all the way to Boston. Wally has something for you, too. He made it in manual training class, and he's very proud of it, so make sure you make a big fuss about it. Your father has something for you, too. Don't know what it is myself. Shh, here he comes.
Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
I can't go on and go so fast. We don't even have time to look at one another. I never realized. So all that was going on and we never noticed. Take me back up the hill to my grave. But first wait. One more look. Goodbye. Goodbye, world. Goodbye, Grover's Corners. Mama and Papa. Goodbye to clocks ticking and Mama's sunflowers and food and coffee and new iron dresses and hot baths and sleeping and waking up. Oh, life, you're too wonderful for anybody to realize you. Do human beings ever realize life while they live it? Every minute?
No. The saints and poets, maybe they do some.
I'm ready to go back.
Were you happy?
No, I should have listened to you. That's all human beings are, just blind people.
Look, it's clearing up. The stars are coming out. Look at that star, Emily. I forget its name.
My boy Joel was a sailor, knew 'em all. He'd sit on the porch at night and tell 'em all by name. Yes, sir, wonderful.
The star is mighty fine company.
Yes, yes it is. Look, here's one of them coming. Mother Gibbs, it's George.
Shh, dear. Just rest yourself.
It's George.
And my boy Joel, who loved the stars, he used to say that it took 1,000,000 years for a speck of that light to get to the earth. Don't nobody who believes that, but that's what he'd say. 1,000,000 years.
Goodness, that ain't no way to behave. Ye ought to be home. Mother Gibbs,
Yes, Emily?
they don't understand, do they?
No, dear. They don't understand.
Most everybody's asleep in Grover's Corners. There are a few lights on. Shorty Hawkins down at the depot has just watched the Albany train go by. And down at the livery stable, somebody's sitting up late and talking. And there are the stars doing their old crisscross journeys in the sky. Scholars haven't settled the matter yet, but they seem to believe that there is no intelligent life up there, just chalk or fire. Only this one. This one. This one straining away to make something of itself. A strain so bad that every 16 hours everybody lies down and takes a rest. 11 o'clock at Grover's Corners. You'll have a good rest too.